welcome to episode 4 of the Nevermind podcast. Aren't you talking about AI? That was suggested by my wife earlier today. That's what I named it. Alrighty, everyone. We are talking about AI. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. We're going to be talking about Detroit becoming human. We're going to be talking about just a little bit of everything. Kind of felt like we should maybe wait on the conspiracies. Maybe we'll get to a conspiracy. I don't know. But that's what we're going to be talking about. Please let us know if there's anything wrong with the sound or bit rates. It looks like it's doing okay, but
The
we're
bit
kind of
rate
worried
has me a
about
little
it.
nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at the bit rate. If everyone's wondering why I'm like, it's because I'm looking over at the bit rate because
Yeah.
we're about to go live and King Cord's like, I don't know, man. The bit rate's not stabilizing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, is there anything wrong with your internet connection? And he's like, I don't know. Let me check. And I see this motherfucker pull up a Wi-Fi icon. And I'm like, are you not streaming via a cable? And he's like, no, Wi-Fi.
No, that's Wi-Fi.
And then I died a little inside.
Yeah. So,
So,
yeah, everyone's having a ton of lag right now.
yeah, I kind of thought that might be the case.
Yeah. Let's see.
You could try rebooting OBS. It'll take
Yeah.
the stream down and then restart it.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't fix it, you'll probably need to run a cable. Something's wrong with the internet.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
It happens.
I'm
I've
guessing
had this
something's
happen on
wrong.
my end before.
Yeah. What if I just switch? If I can find it. Where the?
Oh, you definitely just crashed the stream by doing.
Did I?
Maybe not though.
I
What are you
have
looking
one.
for?
Well, I have the Batcave and then I have the Dark Knight, but
But yeah, we might need to move over to a cable. Something might be glitching out. Oh, wait,
hey,
hold on.
oh, here we go. We're in the
Stabilizing.
green now.
Hold on, we're stabilizing.
All
alright.
we're getting somewhere.
Tell
here.
people in chat to refresh, just in case.
Just in case.
There we go.
Please.
Yeah, though if they keep watching, it should fix, but the lag messes with it. But that should have fixed it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it keeps going to yellow, but it's going green
no,
now.
yeah, the yellow's okay. That's normal sometimes when it spikes up in bit rate as well.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit more. All right,
Vader's saying is like,
we're doing better. We're doing better.
Hi guys.
It's getting better. There we
Welcome
go.
to the stream after we did a bunch of lagging. As you can
God,
see,
I feel like this thing's right in my fucking face today.
the camera.
Yeah, it's in the same spot it always is, but it just feels
Yeah.
like it's staring into my fucking soul. Maybe that's a personal thing.
Yeah, maybe it is.
So,
maybe the Indians had something right about cameras stealing souls.
They could have, but Musty, we borrowed some of your ideas. So we lowered all the gain on the mics while keeping noise gates in order. We have not yet added compression or limiters, but we're gonna try this today. We're using dual cardioid mics. Cardioid. I don't know. We're using dual cardioid mics, and we brought all the levels down and the noise gates up a little so that hopefully there'll be less echo even as we talk over each other. We're in each other's dead zones on the mic, so there should be a little bit better, but we might be a little softer than usual. So just let us know if you have any trouble with that, guys. But I think if you just turn up your speakers, everything should be more balanced and better.
Yeah. So we got rid of the Yeti, as you can see. I put the my camera on a taller tripod. I think it looks good. Some people say it doesn't, but
Who said it doesn't?
my wife, like before she left, was like, I just want to lower it a little bit.
Yeah, but you can't lower it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good.
By the way,
that's
a great camera stand.
Musty says we sound great.
Yeah, I think the
makes me
sound's going to
happy.
be better for sure. Is this thing slowly falling away from me, or am I backing away from it?
I think it's slowly falling.
Just ever so lightly. I feel like I keep having to like pull it back in. It's fine.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring my good mic stand, so I'm using the bargain bin one
Yeah.
that we had in the basement.
So okay, before
They didn't hear your intro. You might want to redo
so
it.
I was gonna say let's redo the intro because it was lagging really bad.
Yeah.
So Welcome to episode 4. Aren't you talking about AI? That's exactly what my wife told me I should name it because I asked her, what should we name this episode? And she's like, aren't you talking about AI? So that's what I put. That joke somehow failed. Anyways, we're going to be talking about AI, artificial intelligence. We're going to be talking about androids, body augmentations. We're going to be talking about Detroit becoming human. And if we have time, we will get to a conspiracy.
A little bit of like, I think it's safe to really at that point you're kind of just talking about AI in a pop culture world almost like in
Yeah.
media, AI in media, like a little bit.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna also kind of just
Whoops.
whoa, watch
I
it.
accidentally kicked my fucking mic stand.
Your camera stand.
Yeah, mic stand, camera stand, same thing.
Mic stand, stands. Don't forget to go to standstands.com and get 20% off your next stands by putting
I
NVM.
I told you a little bit about this, but Musty Bruce actually did send that package, so we should give him a quick thank
oh, really?
you.
Oh,
I'm kind of thinking like we might actually wait and not use his mic next week because I kind of want to do an unboxing on our
On the
podcast.
show?
Like open it up.
like our first
What do you guys think of
unboxing.
that? Like Musty is sending us one of his mics that he tested out for his podcast. So we're gonna have a new mic to use, and I'm thinking about just skipping using it next week and almost like unboxing it next week and starting it the
Yeah.
week after.
And thank you very much, Musty.
We'll be more matching because that thing looks great, but
Yeah.
the new one will look like this. So we'll have like 2 of these bad boys.
Yeah. And then we'll be
Oh, look at
then
the
we'll
tip
be
of
a
that.
professional
Just want to lick
podcast.
Just want to lick
Thank
the
you so much,
tip.
Musty.
Yeah, Musty. That's too. Oh God, we're dropping frames.
Oh no, we're dropping frames again.
I guess you're gonna have to just keep rebooting your Wi-Fi.
Am I gonna have to keep rebooting? It's gonna piss me off. I might just go look for that.
Yeah, you're
Cable.
spiking frames.
Has some surprises.
Yeah, you're definitely dropping frames hard right now.
Lagging again. Okay. Yeah, I don't. My freaking internet, man.
All right,
Yeah, well, there
it's
we go.
stabilized for a minute, but
Yeah.
definitely you might want to I don't know, man. You might want to run and find that cable. It's getting pretty bad.
Yeah. I think I might go run and try to find that cable real quick.
I can definitely keep people entertained.
Yeah, I mean, you do it for like a living. So.
That's what I'll just talk about.
This is the hilarious part for all of you get to watch me try to
Just turn off your mic, or just turn off your webcam. That's what
Go.
big streamers do.
go. Yeah, I'm gonna
Just turn
I need
off.
to get one of those like
Just literally turn off your mic and then uncheck your video, and then you won't have to look like an idiot while you. It'll just go blank for a minute, and no one has to watch you slowly go underneath the table. I can see you crawling under the table. I feel like it's funnier if it's just that. Okay. Yes, guys. So we're having internet issues. I don't know. We haven't had any issues up until now, so sorry about that. King Cord's gonna go find a new Ethernet so we can update the put it on Ethernet, try and pull a little higher bit rate, and doing that sort of things. But I'll keep you entertained until then. So I'm pretty excited about today. I'm not going to get too into the topic yet because I want King Cord here. But AI in pop culture and as a developing technology is very exciting, if you ask me. Me and Cal just rewatched Sword Art Online. So I'll talk about it in a gaming world to start with and see how you guys feel about that. I know a lot of you have probably seen Sword Art Online. So in Sword Art, they develop in the second season of Alfheim. They talk about how they have an algorithm and an AI within the game. So if you're not familiar with it, it's a VR MMORPG. The whole Sword Art Online is based on putting on goggles and deep diving into MMOs. And in this lore, in the lore of that, they have this idea, an idea that we're getting closer and closer to in real life. So, dude, this thing is definitely slowly falling away. What the fuck is that? But what happens in the show is that they have an AI built into their game, and within this AI, it searches, it goes out on the interwebs, and it locates Oh, we're spiking really hard. It locates lore from throughout human history and forms it into like a quest line, essentially. Which is kind of an interesting idea as far as like think about how what that would do to the gaming industry if quests weren't written by humans but instead were based off like lore throughout the universe. I don't know if you guys can hear me right now because I'm a little nervous that the bitrate spiking that hard is going to cause you guys to not be able to really keep up. But I'm going to keep talking momentarily. I'm just kind of filling space while we fix the internet issue. King Cord's off doing that. That's why he's not over there. But yeah, I kind of thought the lag might be bad, Cal. We're working on fixing it. It's getting the lag is getting fixed. I'm gonna type into chat just to make sure. I'm gonna pop it onto chat. Working on a fix. There we go. But yeah, except for it shouldn't be. I mean, I would think it was, but we've been using the same bitrate on OBS the whole time, and it's spiking down to 60 KB per second. I think that it's having a rough time of it, but we're working on fixing it right now. Oh, the sound is good, just the video. Okay, well that's better, I guess. King Cord's fixing it right now. So, but yeah, in the lore for Sword Art, they have this algorithm that searches the internet. And I don't know if any of you have played The Secret World, but it would kind of feel like that. If you played The Secret World online, it had a design where it was all based off lore of throughout history. Zombies, vampires, mummies, Illuminati, the dragons, the everything that has ever been told a story of existence existed in that game. Cthulhu, like all that. So that would be an interesting way to run games if you could really make that function. If instead of player-driven, player-written quests, they've had some design where it would automatically go out, it would find popular stories, popular lore, popular movies all over the internet and pull those and form its own algorithmed quest lines similar to a procedurally generated world like in games like Minecraft, but with a quest line. What an interesting concept. But yeah, right now we're working on getting that fixed, guys. So if don't worry about that. The audio is good, just the video is lagging. So if you guys want, you can switch over to audio only if the video is that bad, and I will tell you guys when the video is fixed here. It should be momentarily. I'm watching King Cord crawl around on the floor plugging in cables right now. So, but yeah, what an interesting concept for the world of gaming. Where, I mean, I don't know what that would do. Again, I never want to take jobs from people, but what an interesting idea. Because one thing that gaming has that AI can help fix is the redundancy. World of Warcraft, one of the most popular MMOs, one of the most popular games of all time. But no matter what you do, from level 1 to 100 some, it's the same quest line, it's the same dungeons, it's the same everything. So what if you had this design where every time that you joined a party in the dungeon finder, it procedurally generated a new dungeon with a random set of parameters from random lore throughout the universe, random movies, random just worldwide lore from history, and it procedurally generated that for a group each time they queued. Think about how that would affect the playability of a game. You wouldn't be able to just learn mechanics, so every fight would be a new. Well, I mean, you would eventually learn it because there's nothing is infinite, but new mechanics, new designs for the dungeons, new bosses, ultimately, made up along the way. Yes, exactly, Musty. They are working on that. All right, here we go. Hold on. We're about to connect to the we're about to connect here to the to the actual Ethernet. Let's see if it looks like it might already be connecting. So let's see if this is gonna fix it up here. Can you disconnect it and reconnect it like you did before? Just fix it up like that, maybe. Because I think once it just needs to balance. It could be an OBS error too. I've seen that before. It's always frustrating when it happens. Yeah, it definitely does. I would just go ahead and oh wait, hold on, it's stabilizing. All right. So guys, if you can hear me, I know. We just had it. We stabilized currently. I don't know if it'll be permanent yet, but the Ethernet's plugged in. We're back up to our 4,000 bit rate, and everything is currently looking good. That boosts up just a tad. Is that gonna fuck with the? Go. So we should be coming back up. I think you're safe, King Cord, because the only other thing that's gonna fix it now is rebooting OBS if it keeps doing it. So I think we could go ahead and start the show. And thank you guys for bearing with us. Fan fiction about Hitler and Stalin's husband. Hitler is Stalin's husband and they fight dragons together. All right, guys, we should be fixed now. It's just about whether that maintains that. Hopefully it will. But yeah, I just think I did the gaming idea there talking about that because I'm such a fucking gamer. But what an interesting idea if you could play a new dungeon with new ideas, with new people, with new monsters, all randomly and procedurally generated based on a new quest line that the game searches and finds and puts together and compiles. That would be something that wouldn't get stagnant, the same as running fucking, running the same end game dungeon over and over and over and over. I want to know if King Cord knows anything about Sophia. I bet you've tried to seen that a little bit, right? That's the talking robot. Thing is fucking scary. King Cord's just about to sit back down, so let's let him get situated here. All right, go ahead and plug back in your. Go ahead and flip your mic on and turn your camera back on. Oh my god, I wish you guys could see this. King Cord just went through all the work of crawling under the table to get back into his seat, and the fucking mouse is across the room. Oh shit. Yeah, if you're wondering why my camera's moving, it's because he's trying to reach and crawl across the table. He got it though. I think the bit rate should be fixed. I've got to do something, and I'm really going to try not to fuck it up. I need to sit cross-legged. King Cord has one of these crazy couches that fucking, literally is I can't even describe it. The couch is bigger than me. I have to, sit cross-legged on it. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to go back. Dude, I'm going to go back and time-lapse this and see if this is just, if this really is, fucking slowly leaning like I think it is. Yeah, or if I'm stroking out. I'm going to go time-lapse the video and just see if this slowly migrates this way. All right.
I found that Ethernet cable. I plugged it in. Hopefully this works. Did we mention we're an amateur podcast?
What I'm really excited. First of all, if you had ever said the word Wi-Fi, I never would have let that fly from episode 1.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever. You shouldn't even use Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is for phones and tablets, not for PCs.
All right. Well, I definitely learned my lesson now. So hopefully it stays ingrained.
Was it the podcast not working that taught you your lesson, or having to crawl around on the floor?
It was crawling on the floor because I'm like a 400-pound dude, and I'm trying to get under a table that doesn't knock anything over. Then I ran around my whole apartment looking for an Ethernet cable that I knew I saw yesterday, and then I was like, "Oh shit, it's in the living room." So I found it, plugged it in. Then I had to crawl back under the table and try to not knock everything over and get back into the couch. And that's when I found my mouse was all the way over there. So.
All right, but it's fixed. We're good. Everything is done. So let's go ahead and do you have any thoughts on what I was talking about before we get into something new?
I wasn't. What were you
weren't paying
about?
attention.
No, I was.
All right.
I was so worried.
Then let's skip it. Let's talk about Sophia.
All right, Sophia
freaks me the fuck out. I don't know that I can have another opinion besides that.
What part freaks you out? Just that it actually looks.
No, I actually don't. I'm not afraid of AI the same way that some people are. I find it's kind of have you ever played? Well, actually, okay, we'll get into Detroit a little further. But the guys that make those Detroit games and stuff, they use scanning, they, you know what I mean? They use real actors. I forget I can't think of the name. Mocap.
Yeah.
Motion capture. Yeah, they mocap those actors, and no matter how good they get at it, it always just looks unsettling when you animate a real human being.
Yeah.
And Sophia, that's kind of how it feels almost. Because something. It's almost like the body they give her
Yeah.
doesn't fit the
Like
the,
it's
the
just
design. Like
slightly off, right?
yeah, like every time you talk to her, you like if you ran into that person on the street as a working, fully skinned android, you'd be like, I don't like that.
I feel
Like
like this is a talking mannequin, right?
if you're not, yeah, if you're not, if you're not familiar with Sophia, it's a artificial intelligence.
Do you know who made her? Was it Google?
I thought it was Google, but maybe it wasn't.
I think it was Google. We could be wrong about it, but yeah, she's pretty much like our furthest like advancement towards artificial intelligent androids.
Yeah, it's an artificial intelligence placed in an artificial body. If you haven't watched it, YouTube it. The videos are unsettling.
Right now she's not perfectly humanoid.
Not at all.
It's basically like it's the head, it's the brain
Yeah,
on top of what looks like a mannequin basically.
yeah, the beginnings of
But
it.
like she can't like walk or move or pick anything up.
But it's
But she can have a conversation with you, and I'm pretty sure the last time they like publicly had a conversation with her on TV,
yeah,
she said like some really creepy shit.
right, because it's anytime you're working with AI, it's a computer. First of all, if you've ever worked with computers, I don't know if any of you are programmers. Have you done a little coding?
Yeah,
The
a
first
little,
thing,
like, not like
the
robot
the
shit.
first thing you ever learn in computers is that computers are dumb.
Right.
Like we think that computers are smart, but they're dumb.
Right.
They know two things, I and O. Like they know
Mhm.
input, they know output, they know on and off.
You have to
That's
give like
it.
a list of 1,000 commands for it to do two things.
Right. And like beyond that, you also it can only know no matter what you do, no matter how advanced it gets, it's a million little flips of on or off, like little
Yeah.
switches. That's it.
Yeah.
And because of that, we think AI is so easy to make, but it's really difficult because you're building a human brain out of what is essentially a workhorse of IO switches.
hmm
And that's like something that's really interesting because computers are not smart. As someone that has worked a little bit in coding when I was studying in school, I can tell you it doesn't help you at all. You're like a computer's intelligence is what you make it.
hmm
And because of that, artificial intelligence, it's not unique. Like a computer can't develop it. Only we have to make it. The question is, once we make it, will it be able to develop itself further?
Right.
But Sophia's unsettling.
To give like almost what I think is like a perfect visualization is if you go to like YouTube and you type in Minecraft calculator.
Yeah,
A lot of these people like made calculators out of like the
Mhm.
red
the
torch.
redstone.
And what it basically is just like on off,
Yeah,
and it goes through the equation, cycles through the list
Mhm.
of the torches, and it gives you the answer.
yeah.
That's a lot like coding. Is just
Yes,
a bunch
that's
of
exactly
those.
what it is. Input, outputs, ons, offs. That's
Right.
ones and zeros.
Like
That's
if this
it.
one turns on, then these two have to be off. Or-
Yeah, you've seen people. Some people with mods in Minecraft, they've built entire computers out of essentially
Yeah.
redstone, and it's because computers aren't as complicated as they seem like they are.
yeah, I think there's a video of like some dude like made a Google browser.
Yeah, you
Like,
can
it's
do
a
it.
giant like wall. It's just nothing but a Google browser.
Right. Well, it's funny because as long as you have the idea, as long as you have an idea of if you have a game and you can turn things on and off, then in theory you've got the makings of a computer because that's what they are. Like that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about
Oh,
that,
you're good,
Musty.
Musty.
We just recently plugged into Ethernet.
Yeah, we're talking about Sophia, but yeah, right now we're good. How much did you miss? Did you miss all that, Musty?
Yeah.
We were talking about Sophia because Musty was here.
But yeah, so Sophia
Sorry about that.
basically, like I said
trying to
before,
mute.
is like a plastic head with
From you.
like a computer for the brain, and it's got like a latex face, but this like the back of the skull is clear, so you can see the innards.
Right.
But sometimes they put a wig on it to make it look more humanoid. And when they first made it, they could do like a simple conversation. It was like, "Oh, Sophia, do you like this conversation, or do you like where you're at?" And it would sound like Siri's like, "Yes, I like where I'm at right now. I like having a conversation with you."
Kitty.
But now, like they recently had, and I think it was somewhere like overseas from us. they like asked her something like politically, and she said something like really creepy, like she
Yeah.
favored some like
Can I help
communist
you?
or something. So yeah, it's really creepy, but we're really there. There's also a company who just like for the hell of it decided to make um a humanoid robot basically. Like they
Right.
tried to replicate organs and stuff, like
Was it
hearts.
Boston Dynamics or was it not those
It
guys?
might have been.
Boston
I
Dynamics
think
is
it was
behind
like a
everything.
private, like just a couple dudes got together and like, hey, let's do this.
I'm pretty sure Boston Dynamics like literal slogan is "We bring your nightmares to life."
Oh really? They're the
Yeah.
ones who made the humanoid one that like can pick up boxes. and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, and the dog one
And-
for the military that like
yeah.
runs through battlefields and like tends to wounded soldiers. They
Yeah.
also made that weird snake one that like
Snake one.
yeah, it's like a weird like thing that like rolls around. I fucking hate this mic stand. This thing is dead to me.
Yeah. We're gonna have to get rid of this mic stand.
Yeah, this one is fucking dead to me.
You lost sound. Can't hear you all.
I
Is
think
that
that's just
me?
Cal. Nobody else having that?
Anyone else can hear us?
I assume everyone else is okay,
Yeah,
but we
'cause
don't know
got-
for sure.
We got sound.
Yeah, I don't know if this thing is gonna survive the day, but let's hope it does. I'm worried it's just gonna break, like literally snap
Like,
off
really
its hinges.
snap.
It's fine how far away it is because I'm loud enough that
Yeah.
it's totally fine. It's just about whether it's gonna fucking fall over.
They just says
All
all
right,
good.
maybe Cal, you might just need to refresh. Somebody tell Cal to refresh. I'll just nonchalantly just fucking hold this here.
Yeah, just gonna have to. Does it keep swinging away from you?
Yeah, it's just slowly.
Oh man,
It's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna try and balance it out a little.
That's my mic stand junior.
There we go. I'm gonna try it like that. I think it'll do better right here.
My grandpa gave me that mic stand.
Really? Was it
Christmas.
from like 1942?
It was from like 2012.
Is there a cat back there?
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. When I went to go find the Ethernet, I let all the freaking cats out.
Oh no.
And I was like, I can't hunt them down now. They're out. So if Nick's green screen goes down, and that's probably what the mic problem is too.
I saw something bump the mic back
like the
there.
screen waved. It was creepy. It was like Jaws.
But yeah,
Anyways,
back to the actual conversation. No, Sophia is unsettling, but I think it's fair to be unsettling because it's so early in the development. Like, are you doing okay, Kat?
Oh, he's good.
Uh,
He's just bathing. He's got like a nasal problem, so he goes when he's bathing himself.
You're killing me with that.
I know.
Me too, man. Me too. I can't breathe. I never can. But yeah, Sophia, like, I think it's the beginnings of something that could be really interesting. Let's just get this whole conversation out of the way. Do you believe that AI is dangerous?
1 sec. I'm actually in favor for intelligence artificially.
That was a weird way to say
I know,
that.
I know, I forgot to say artificial. And I was like, I'll just throw it on the end. But yeah, I'm
that
in
wasn't my
favor.
question though. My question wasn't are you in favor of it? It was do you think it's a danger to
I think that there are gonna be dangers. I think that we're gonna have a little hiccups with it, but I think it'd be for the best.
I think so. Chromecast is bullshit. Oh, dude, that's the worst.
What's Chromecast? You using Google?
It's
Chrome?
like throwing it to your TV from your phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I tend to not think it's actually as dangerous as all that, but there's a few things that have always scared me. Like I never thought of AI as being scary because I think that I tend to honestly believe in the old saying, like if we make it, we can destroy it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
We have 1,000 ways to EMP pulse everything.
Yeah.
Like we can kill almost anything.
Well, and then plus, like, we're obviously aware that this is a great possibility. So
Right.
as we're developing it, we can also, like, do the Batman thing and also keep his kryptonite close.
But here's the thing. Normally, I was never used to be afraid of AI. Never thought it was like dangerous at all.
Yeah.
But then like Stephen Hawking, shortly before his death, did the whole expose on why it's one of the biggest like dangers facing humankind.
Yeah.
And like it's one of those points where like I'm not gonna argue with Stephen fucking Hawking. You know what I mean? Like if Stephen Hawking says something's true,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take that as fact. Motherfucker could have been like, you know what, we were wrong. The sky is purple, and I would be like, yeah, that sounds right, man. Stephen Hawking said it.
Stephen Hawking said it, so it's got to be true.
But yeah, like that was the first time I was like, oh, maybe there's something to it being dangerous if Stephen Hawking believes
yeah,
that.
I mean, like I definitely heard his warning, but I feel like Stephen Hawking also was wrong about a lot of things too. So,
Can you think of one thing off the top of your head?
obviously I can't, but like a lot of his proposals, like he's like gone back and changed stuff. Like,
Right, right. That's true. That's science. That's true. Like science is adapting your hypotheses.
And I mean, we got his warning, and now we're like, okay, well, if we're gonna continue fucking with this, we got to make sure we have like.
See,
an exit plan.
Vader's saying that at one point when it gets too smart that it can, because we do have like EM proof, like we EMP proof things like the White House.
Right, and they can
And-
probably EM proof themselves too.
Right, right. But I mean, like, I feel like that's just evolution, right? Like if we build AI, they get smart enough, they wipe us out. That seems like fair play.
Right.
That's on us, really.
Right. Musty Bruce says his stream keeps dropping out. Is
Oh,
that-
I'm sorry, Musty.
Is that happening for everyone else? Is it?
Cal said her sound dropped, but I think we haven't dropped any frames since we fixed it.
Yeah. Should we just go ahead and restart the OBS? Maybe?
I don't think it's our fault this time.
Oh, he says it's his end.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, Musty.
I'm sorry that's happening to you, man. On the one day a week that we podcast
Yeah.
that you're excited to talk to us and stuff.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite, like before we start getting into it in media, what's for real AI, for real straight AI, it's made, it's working functionally, maybe it's not perfect, but it's there. What are you most excited for being added to the universe or to the world by that?
Like what? So you're
Yeah,
asking me
like
like
it-
what's the best benefit?
To you, like what are you excited to see? Not so much what's the best thing for humankind, but like what are you excited for? Like if someone's like, what, you know, like are you excited for robots? Are you excited for its use in games? Are you like what are you excited to see it used for?
I'm most excited for the androids, but also human augmentation to make life better.
Human augmentation.
Right.
How we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
How far are you willing to go for human augmentation?
So like I said this on BBG,
Yeah, a long time ago.
and
we
I'll
talked
say it
about
again. I will willingly line up at my doctor's office or whoever's giving out robot parts or android parts and lob off my legs so I can jump higher.
You're gonna do it.
I'll do it.
Okay, because I'm only curious because, like, have you ever watched something, like, with someone that's, like, have you ever watched, like, Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
He doesn't seem super happy with the
No,
automail.
I expect not a lot of people are going to be happy about it, but a lot
Right.
of people, another like the other side, are going to like it too.
I'm excited about some things on that,
Like,
on
here-
augmentation end.
Here's the not just like so I can run and jump faster, but these are the things that I'm excited for. We can get things that will help regulate blood sugar,
Yep.
regulate blood pressure,
Yeah.
regulate chemicals and enzymes and things. So
Yeah.
like a lot of like
Nanotechnology.
on
They're
the-
getting close
a
on
lot of like hindering things like diseases and just like accidents that happen to people will be better for prolonging life.
Musty says some of us are a stage ahead. He just needs the leg. That's true. It's true though. Like, would you be excited for that, Musty? That's a great. You're the first. Like, you're one of the only people we know that would benefit from that directly. Let's say that they have some human augmentation. They've got a fully working like robot leg. Does that make you feel uncomfortable, or would you be excited about that? Like, would that be off-putting to you to have a fully functional like robotic leg? Like, because I bet you'd see some people, like with anything, that are like, you know what, I think I'm gonna keep like the prosthetics that we used before.
Yeah.
You know, to that, like that. Because yeah, that would be an interesting. Yeah,
Not having any ankles is the suckiest thing.
I could see that. I
Yeah.
mean, I could see it. That's a great example, though. Like, I think that the what we could gain medically is really like interesting, but arguably that's not really artificial intelligence. That's really a
Yeah.
robotics thing because
Well,
that's
Musty
about
also said like having something that can learn how you walk.
yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah,
So
because we all walk differently. And
exactly.
we
That's
all
where the
run
artificial
differently.
intelligence would come into something like that.
Right.
It would have to the leg would have to essentially program. It would be have to program to learn your gait, your speed, your
Yeah.
design. It would have to adjust
Or
to
what
that
if
on the fly.
or what if the leg is like connected into your brain, into your cerebellum or whatever.
Exactly. Well, that it
So
would be
you
eventually.
control the leg.
Yeah,
But as
and
if it was your biological leg, but
that's
it's not.
that. Yeah, that's the huge difference. Are we talking about a prosthetic? There's two schools of thought. One is a prosthetic that learns and adjusts to you, and one is working it into your own nervous system in a way that's really more of a robotics thing than an AI. The AI though has an interesting idea. You've seen Boston Dynamics design the
Right.
dogs and the people that like
Right.
can't fall over.
Mhm.
What an interesting idea that if you like tripped but had an AI leg, that thing would just like snap out and like catch it on something. Like that wouldn't that
Right.
fuck with you?
Yeah.
Like if you would go to trip and the leg would auto catch
It's
itself.
just like
Like and it would like you would be impossible to trip because you'd like
Yeah.
go, oh no, and your leg would like
the
like pop
days
itself
of
kind of like
falling
back
on our
over.
asses would be over.
What an interesting idea.
Yes.
A guy in rehab who lost both legs and had prosthetics but were connected to gyros and processors because his amputation was up too high. Interesting. And did was he able to move around? Like was his mobility increased? Like did that work? I've not seen that technology in use. I
Yeah.
knew it existed, but I've never actually watched
We've only heard rumors.
like did he get his mobility back in that way? I'm sure it took a lot of rehab and a lot of work.
Or did he get more mobility?
I doubt he got more mobility
not.
because our technology's not there yet.
He had no arms either.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
That's really sad. That's brutal, man.
But I mean, like, you know,
And we don't have fake arms yet. Like
No,
we
we don't
don't
have
like
fake
we
arms.
fake legs are like our robotic legs are designed for those. They're getting closer.
it still took him a year to learn. Musty said.
Wow, that's rough. But we haven't found anything that can do.
But can you imagine like having so-called a plug-and-play
Yeah.
like arm or leg?
It would be really weird, like Automail from Full Metal Alchemist. That's
Yeah,
I mean,
just
he just
like-
he pops that bad boy on and straps it.
I mean, they kind of like it wasn't really a human; it was the androids. But in Detroit, becoming human, they pretty much had like as long as it was like correct to the model, you can plug and play another leg.
yeah, what an interesting idea.
That would be interesting. As
No, robotics and like it's a really interesting concept. I find technology really interesting all around. Well, so that's a great question, Cal, but it can be done. Like they're learning to manipulate nerve endings. The real question is how they could. I don't doubt that they could connect a machine to your nerves, and even muscles. The question is, after you graft it to nerve and muscle, how do you graft it to the actual nervous system? Like beyond just the nerves that need connected at, say, an amputation site. How do they get those to tap into the spinal column and into the brain so that, like King Cord said, it has to be, ideally, you'd want it to be controlled via your own cerebellum and things like
Yeah.
that for balance and such. And doing that would
Yeah.
be an interesting
Yeah.
concept.
probably have like some kind of module or controller like plugged into like probably
Right.
the base of your head or even like in your spinal column itself.
Kind of like a exosuit design that they've
Yeah,
worked
a
with
little
in the
bit.
past, but like
Yeah. Musty says they already do things like that for spinal injuries.
yes, exactly. So they actually.
Oh no. Oh no.
Uh-oh,
cats.
there's a cat in the green screen. Oh, he ran away though a little bit.
Thank God.
Oh no, he knocked over my thing.
No.
Get out of here, cat.
These cats.
All right.
So, but I mean, not only are we just talking about like amputations and stuff, like we can have things where like like regulating breathing, like actually taking optimal and maximizing oxygen
Yeah.
and carbon.
We actually
monoxide
do
or
run
carbon
off of
dioxide.
electricity. The funny thing
Yeah.
is, Cal, when you really break it down, humans or all of life, we all kind of run up
These cats.
We all kind of. I don't think that was the cat. I think
Was
it
this
just
the
got
mic?
knocked down.
Uh,
We all kind of run off of the same power dynamics. You know what I mean? What the fuck is this? I'm about to fucking murder this mic stand.
You're about to just hold the mic.
Yeah, like just hold it like an announcer. Yeah, we have a lot of things in common. Did it move while I was looking away?
I don't think so.
We do run off electricity. Like we have electricity
Yeah.
in our brain to some degree.
Yeah.
We work off so many things. So that's why that's why electricity restarts our hearts. It's why electricity can be used for magnetic therapy, like the therapy. Not that I condone that, but the therapy where they electroshock therapy on your brain. Like we are essentially mechanical in our own way. We're just organic mechanical.
That's why we have to keep up our electrolytes, because electrolytes help with the connection of electricity from nerves to.
Well, actually, Cal, is that really so hard to believe? Because if you really think about it, does it really make sense that you can plug a battery into a potato? Like when they do the potato light bulb thing? Like that doesn't make any sense that the potato is just a conductive source. Like what the fuck is that? No, I mean, we are like humans are obsessed with the idea that we're unique and special and that nothing can do what we do. But really, we're just a sack of organic matter that happened to get lucky on the evolutionary trait. Like that's it. We're all the fucking same. We get cut, we bleed. There's no we all die unless you're part of the Illuminati and you move your brain into a new body when you die.
Yeah. Or you just download your conscious to the server.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an interesting. Have you ever watched
That's crazy, Musty.
Carbon?
I haven't seen Altered Carbon yet. It's on my to watch list because we've talked about it on stream a little bit, I think.
I watch that too, and that's a pretty interesting idea where you just download your conscience to a disc. And we just use these like bodies as just, they call them sleeves.
Yeah, we do
you
something.
Can just go into anybody you want.
We do something similar in have you watched all Black Mirror?
Yeah.
They do that in the episode where the two girls fall in love and
the two old ladies.
Yeah,
find each other on the server.
The server, yeah, like what an interesting idea, because I think a lot of us think of, when we think of immortality, I think we tend to think of it as humans as
like staying in your physical body,
right, like
staying young.
moving our brains to other pieces, making robotic pieces, or even growing, like when we grow the ears on rats, like growing things out of organic matter and patching ourselves up. But what an interesting concept that maybe when you get close to the end of your life, that you would just phase into the digital world. And what an interesting idea if that was what heaven and hell ended up being, was some sort of digital world. Like that's some fucking interstellar shit that you could go on about. I just spit on myself like a fucking savage.
Hold on, let's see what Musty Bruce says here. It says there were studies that had people in MRI machines watching 2 trailers and were able to map the visuals from the MRI. The sci-fi game designers was my fave Black Mirror from the last season.
So that's just touching on that real quick. That was also, I think, my favorite episode, but I think it was unfair because I'm in love with that actor. I love that actor. I don't know.
He was the one from Breaking Bad. He was the kid. He was the kid who got tied up with those Nazi guys.
No. That's. Oh yeah. No, it is that guy. It is Ugly Matt Damon.
Because I call him Ugly Matt Damon. Because he was supposed to replace.
Yes. I think Ugly Matt Damon is actually one of the best actors, and I think he's super underrated. And it was so fun I thought he was one of my favorite characters in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And what an interesting, it was so fun to see him in that role.
Yeah, I like that episode too because
I stuck.
It was it was also like a really cool idea too, like where you can just go into your game.
Yeah, pop right in.
But it's also scary because then you got the guy who's got the offline server and he's creating his own
really. It was really unsettling.
But
but also, the funniest part of that one, again, this actually does hilariously work back into it in AI form. So what's really interesting about that is he clones them.
Right.
Like, she is not trapped in the game. They
No, like
clone the AI.
she physically is not trapped in the game. They cloned her conscience and turned into an AI.
So what I want to touch on there is like, at what point is gaming at what point do our video games become unethical? Because let's say you have great A, like, here's my opinion on it. As long, I think that you can make AI as good as you want, but as long as the in-game AI never questions itself, you're
Yeah.
basically like safe. That's on my eye. Oh no, not this.
Oh,
No, I'm
no.
kidding. It'll be fine.
You didn't touch any cats, did you?
No, I actually did, but only with this hand. I was really careful
Oh,
about it.
thank God we have two hands.
But yeah, like it's kind of an interesting idea because playtest is a great episode of Black Mirror. That's probably my overall favorite episode. But yeah, back to this. Yeah, like, at what point does the AI get good enough in a game that you're essentially making a microverse? What do you think about that? How do you feel about that idea?
Like, do I think it's wrong?
Do you, not only do you think it's wrong, but what do you think is what's the go-to measurement of, at what point of development do you think it's inappropriate to make AI smarter in a game? Like, at what point? Because obviously,
So you're saying, like, in a game, should I put a cap on an AI so it doesn't get too good? Or
Right,
it doesn't
right.
create its own universe?
at what point does that get unsettling or even unethical to make AI better and better, intelligent?
I think when it gets to the point where it has the ability to just stray off and make its own world.
See, funny you should say that. I actually am for that.
Why?
I
Okay, why are you for that? So you can go play a different game,
Yes.
basically inside the
So
game.
here's an interesting idea. I guess that's not quite that bad, although that'd be an interesting idea. That's some interesting shit
Yeah.
to touch on. But we were just watching Sword Art Online. I've kind of mentioned that earlier when I
Yeah.
was talking about an algorithm. And in this Sword Art, in Sword Art 2, the second arc, and there's the Caliber arc and Mother's Rosario.
How,
The
How
game,
big are our cups? They're like this huge. They're from the
yeah,
movie
they're
theater.
giant.
Every time we go to the movie
The
theater,
cups are huge because
we get one
my
of these
hands,
cups.
although my hands are kind of small,
my hands are kind of big.
you have big hands.
Big hands. They're huge. Let me see if it says how big they are. It does not. It's like a liter, maybe.
But so what I was getting at is that, and there's only one game that I know, two games. I can think of two games that have tried this concept. But in this arc of Sword Art, they have to finish a quest line, and if they don't, the game's generated quest and generated AI will actually destroy the game. It will it will wreck its own game through its algorithm, like, that it's designed.
And that's just to keep it from it's not straying from the game, basically.
Right, but no other, like, ideally you would never do that. Like, it would be pretty annoying if you were like think of it like a Minecraft server on hardcore mode.
Yeah.
You start playing, you build something, you fall into lava, it gets wiped. Everything you've worked for is destroyed. No real programmer that developed that would want to do that. There's only two games I can think of that have done it, and are doing it. Rift and Crowfall would be the two that came to mind. Rift is a really old MMO, and it was designed so that rifts opened up in the sky, enemies would rain down, and it was the player's job to gather around the rifts and shut them down. If you didn't do this, the rift would spread, and the enemies would actually go into towns and kill off guards and merchants and take it over, so that you would lose control of the map to AI. Another one that's essentially they're ruining their own game if the players don't work. Crowfall is another one. If you've not heard of Crowfall, it's a battle siege simulator. So there's kings elected, and they lead guilds of people in wars. And in this one, after so much time passes, it enters like an eternal winter, and the world withers and dies, and the server is wiped, and a new server begins on a new, like, era. And those are the only two games I can think of off the top of my head. Let's get caught up on this a little bit.
So, Musty Bruce says, I know it's going backwards, but quickly looked up AI and amputations, and they have prosthetics, arms that have cameras. That AI determines the best action for that object.
What an interesting idea.
Which
So
is crazy.
the camera looks at an object like a cup,
Right.
and it decides what way it's gonna move to capture that and hold it correctly.
Yeah.
So essentially, what you're really looking at there, what an interesting idea. So what it's doing there, I don't know how many building games you've played, but in gaming, when you build something, a lot of games like 7 Days to Die and things, they have maps where you can an Empyrean, they have maps where you can see points of like connection and how stable they are,
Yeah.
so that oh, like, we know them kind of by default in the human world. We know if there's a lot of weight somewhere, we need a pillar, if et cetera, et cetera. So it would scan something, it would essentially make a wire frame, and the camera would decide, okay, based on this object, this wire frame, the points that I need to put like pressure on to maintain a grip are here, here, and here. What an interesting concept.
Yeah.
That's some brilliant shit. That's the kind of shit that wins you a Nobel Prize right there.
Yeah. But it's also scary because then it's like you want to like say grab your wing, and then it decides no, we're not going to do that, and it just rips it off.
Technically, wouldn't it just decide? Wouldn't arguably, if we're talking about your prosthetic arm jerking you off, wouldn't arguably it know the best way to jerk you off?
What it?
Well, I'm just saying
What-
in this.
Yeah,
in
you
this,
gotta ask it.
In this instance, it knows the best way to grab something. So really, it's actually helping you out.
The
Also-
AI bot slaughtered the 2 DOTA players. Wow.
Yes, Musty said the same thing to me. Or it finds a better grip when you get married. AI Master Go board game. Yeah, that too. I've seen the AI version of Go, and I've seen the AI version of Dota 2. Those two have done it really good. Other AIs are so lackluster. There's such a big wide array. I remember the first game I played that had an AI that, honest to God, freaked me out. And it was, do you remember when I used to stream The Forest? That game, they
Yeah.
worked a long time on their AI. It's not perfect. It's not as good as the Grandmaster Dota AI bot. But I remember the first time that, like, I'm used to playing games like 7 Days to Die and Empyrean. A zombie sees you, it walks at you, you kill it. Game over.
Right.
Every game. You maybe there's a little taking cover, maybe there's a little bit of that, this and that,
Yeah.
like, and whatnot, coming around a wall. But I remember the first time I played The Forest, and I fucking shined my torch over, and I just saw a pair of glowing eyes off in the
Yeah.
distance, and I'm like, oh shit, that thing's gonna run at me. And instead it ran off, just disappeared. And then the next night came back with a few more, and they were watching me. I was like, hey, get out of here, man. Like, and it just kept coming back with more soldiers watching and
Just
waiting.
watching.
And then eventually they raided, and they came in, and I had to fight them all off.
Oh,
And
that is scary.
what
as
it
shit.
was really unsettling. And I was like, dude, I don't like
So
that.
it was like every night there was a little bit more.
Yeah, like
Like
the
it
game, like they're designed so that they will send scouts that like watch what you do and how you play, and they try to attack you differently based on that.
Oh wow.
And it was really unsettling. It
That
was
is-
really unsettling.
I kind of want to play Forest now.
Newer AI beat the
So-
original, yeah.
You know Elon Musk, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, like a while ago, he made his own like AI because he wanted to.
Because he's a fucking genius. Why not?
Right, exactly. He wanted to like show off. He's like, hey, look at this. But he started noticing a lot of creepy stuff with his AI. Like it started, I think it was like it would give him denials whenever he gave him a command or whatever. And I think eventually it just like it started developing its own language.
Yeah.
So he shut that shit down, right? Well, then here walks in Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook,
Of course, yeah.
and they started making an AI, and
The
they
dual
made
AIs,
two
yeah.
different ones. And they started making it started out as a shorthand version
Mhm.
of English because they figured our English wasn't like,
Precise enough.
yeah, it wasn't effective enough. So
Which is not. Our language is bullshit.
No, it's
just to
not.
be clear.
so it made
English is a bullshit
it made like a
language.
shorthand version of English, and that was like creepy, but it was also kind of like, okay, yeah,
kind of
that's-
cool.
that's
Kind of cool. Yeah, why not?
And then it decided, let's make our own language so you and I can talk.
Yeah.
And it was at the point where we didn't know what the fuck they were saying.
Yeah, you can't even interpret it.
Yeah, it was creepy as fuck. And they're like, we would say, hey, what are you talking about? Oh, nothing. And then they'd go back to like talking to each other. And then they started making like denials to demands and stuff and started growing and growing. And so that got scary and we shut that
Right.
shit down. Well, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember what the company was, but there's a company and I think it's hilarious. They just go, we're just going to make an AI and just feed it a bunch of bullshit and see what happens. So they made an AI and they fed it dank memes, violence, like police shooting videos, and like just a bunch of other shit. And it developed, like they said, was like a psychopath and a 12-year-old, but it had serial killer tendencies.
I mean, it makes sense because
Right.
again, like AI is not good enough yet to fully develop. So we make AI what it is.
Exactly. But it's just kind of it's scary because we're all in that shit. Like we see that shit every day on Facebook. We see
Right.
that shit every day on Twitter and on the news. And like
Another point just to be made here again about what Kalhai said. Another reason we're just like machines. Like no matter who we are, we can again. You can be your own person. You can do your best, but we're still all a product of nurture and nature.
yeah.
And like that's the same idea. Like if you really think about it, we're all just an AI being fed pieces by the universe.
Mhm.
Not to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on anything, but I just mean like we're not who we are because we're who we are. We're who we are because we were born with a set of genes that said that's who you are, and we were raised in a way that said this is what's acceptable, this is who you are.
Yeah.
And then from there, yes, we do start to make our own choices, but that's kind of the definition of what we're doing with artificial intelligence. We feed it, we teach it, and then it starts to learn on its own.
Yeah.
So it's just funny how everything is the same. The older you get, you start to realize. I remember back when I'd play video games and think, oh, everything's new, everything's unique. And then
Yeah.
the older you get, the more you're like, dude, everything's just a copy and paste of everything.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Especially nowadays. But I think part of that is not nowadays, but just that you see it more because we're older, we're more experienced, and you start to realize the whole world, the whole universe is just copy and paste, copy and paste.
Everyone's like, hey, that's a good idea. I should make it my own. And then they change little things here and there, and all of a sudden it's a copy and paste. And it's the same freaking game, just different looks.
There
Or
we go. Musty's explaining it.
oh, he's explaining artificial intelligence.
Yeah. But what an interesting idea beyond that, Musty, because arguably the end game for AI is to give it emotion, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
part of the game. Because
We're
here's the thing.
we're trying to make them human.
Yeah, I don't think there's arguably even a way to not do that because again, AI is invented by humans. So
Yeah.
all of our imperfections, like we're not going to build something perfect because we're imperfect. And by
Yeah.
doing that, like we're biased. Humans are biased. We're going
Mhm.
to everything we program carries our imperfections, our bias, and our emotions in it.
See that I think we can simulate emotions with androids and artificial intelligence.
Well, of
I think
course,
a lot of the emotions is just like a chemical balance, really.
we've been able to simulate emotions ever since every time you logged into a Yahoo chat room and be like, "Hey, baby, come watch my cam show." Like,
Yeah.
do you ever remember when you were a kid and you would literally be like, I remember when I was a young kid in a Yahoo chat room before I realized that it was all bots.
Yeah.
And like, I'd carry on a conversation for 5 minutes before it was like, now come watch my cam show. And I was like, son of a bitch, I've been talking to a robot. Like, seriously, like it was
Yeah.
a good bot. Or
But I mean, like,
most
that's
AOL
not-
had that
But
bot
that's
too.
not emotions. That's just like a list of
Well,
statements and
that's the argue.
sentences.
It's a preset of responses based on your responses, which is kind of close to AI. It's just a simplistic form
It's a
because
really
it doesn't learn.
simplistic.
So it's not AI because it doesn't adjust.
I mean, it just goes off of whatever words you use, and then it
yeah,
says, okay,
it
this
looks
is
for
what-
like patterns and it like
right.
gives you a pattern
But
based on your.
I mean,
pattern.
that bot doesn't feel the emotion. The bot's like, oh, hey, I want you to come see me naked.
Wouldn't it be really funny right now? See, what would have been really funny is if you had your phone logged on to your Nevermind bot account and we're like,
Yeah.
I hear you.
I hear.
I
everything
hear
you're
the
saying.
things you're saying.
I don't.
So
like
I
what you're
sometimes I
saying.
have Nixit bot pulled up on my computer to do shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll pop on and just be like, "You guys were too mean to me. I hear you talking about the Nick Sense game." Like, oh,
I hear you guys are saying I'm shit. I'm trash.
I broke the mic. I shouldn't have touched it.
Oh no.
What is it even doing at this point?
I have
Oh.
no idea.
Where is it even leaning? There we go. All right, that it's fine.
There we
I'm not gonna
go.
touch it.
Don't touch it. But yeah, I think because like a lot of the human emotions is just like it's a chemical, it's an or whatever,
Yeah.
it's a chemical balance going off in your brain. I don't think any android or artificial intelligence is gonna have that unless somehow. I mean, they are making artificial organs, so maybe they might have some kind of
I don't
like
know, man.
device that can simulate perfectly what the human emotion
Our
puts
emotions
off.
are programmed by that.
It's like hormones and
But
enzymes.
I mean,
And,
there's we've seen in the past. Think of it this way, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get deep a little bit.
yeah.
We've seen interviews with sociopaths, and
Mhm.
they've been proven to essentially not have emotion. That's diagnosed sociopathy is not having essentially
Yeah.
any real emotion or having any caring for empathy for humankind, for
Mhm.
other people of your own like species.
Yeah.
And we've seen them on multiple occasions be the best businessmen, the best they tend to be like high class businessmen tend to be lean towards sociopathy. We've seen them fake emotions to get things they want. So like the real argument is even if a robot couldn't theoretically have pure emotion, could an AI fake emotion to get what it wants by because it watches humans, it learns from humans, it knows when somebody says something sad to say, "Oh, that's sad." So isn't
Right.
that showing emotion and empathy? Like, well, I don't know. That's arguable.
Is it though,
I
or
don't
is
know.
it? Are they
Is
saying, "Oh, hey,
faking
you're sad.
emotion isn't
I
having
recognize you're
emotion.
sad," but it doesn't mean that. Oh, this is a sad moment. I'm feeling the sadness. It's just saying I'm recognizing that you're sad.
Makes it bot sucks.
But what I think what androids, I think they're gonna be like that. I think they're just gonna be able to say, "Hey, I can recognize that you're happy or you're sad or you're in
Yeah.
love."
So it does seem sorry, I just want to touch on what Musty and Cal were talking about. It is boring if you think about it in the sense of a gaming. Like Musty talked about it being used in World of Warcraft. But so yeah, the number crunching of AI running at 1,000 times our speed on more efficiency, running the same things as us, it would be boring if you use it for something you were doing for fun. But think of it this way, like let's say you're trying to make a legit decision. Uh, you have two things. You have two things you really want to do with your life. You want to move to California and become a singer, and you want to move to New York and become an actor, or vice versa. You could essentially load up a billion summaries of that, enter your parameters, and enter a billion on each side, and a computer would blast them in a couple of hours. And then you would have an actual stat to say, am I going to succeed if I go to California or if I go to New York? And then you can make a life altering decision based on the mathematics of an AI running through a course of actions as a human. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking with me a little bit.
Isn't that like Along Came Polly or something?
Along Came
The
Polly
movie where
is,
he was an insurance agent who made a
oh,
program
yes.
that gave you a percentage of like
Yes,
two different,
okay.
like if this guy went like base jumping versus staying at home,
Right, right.
this is the percentage of him like dying.
Yes, and this is that and just a step higher because at this point, the robot would actually live the scenario. It would live the life. It would start where you're at and it would live your life until the day you died a billion times, and then it would give you a stat to say this is what happened overall in your billion lifetimes in
Yeah.
that life.
That was also an episode in Black Mirror about like the dating app where
Yeah.
there's like how
Yes.
many times did they like run away
That one
from
really
the program?
fucked with me. Seriously.
Like
The
at
dating
the end.
the dating app one,
Yeah.
it really fucked with me. Like of all the Black Mirror episodes that gave me existential life crises, that one gave me the biggest
Yeah.
existential life crisis. But yes, exactly like that. The AI created a version of two people and they lived through a million lifetimes to decide if you should date that person in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And yes, let's talk about that. How do you guys feel? The chat, I want to hear people's like, because that's what that was. That was exactly what that was.
Musty still explaining AI to everyone.
Yes, yes.
It's also got some philosophical questions in there. So yeah.
What is altruism?
So how do you feel? You personally, how do you feel about like if we were gonna have like androids and shit?
I'm good with androids. I don't have a problem with androids, although I don't
Yeah.
like. I'm kind of again. I'm really pro equality for everything, and because of that, if the androids were too smart, like I couldn't have one just being like a slave. It would if they're smart enough, then I'd have to like if like they'd have to live like you know what I mean. Like you'd have to almost like pay them.
Yeah, but what would you pay an android?
Well, they'd still. That's what I mean. Like
Would you pay them
realistically,
like they're an actual individual functioning
well, that's what I
citizen in
mean.
the
Like right
country?
at
Or,
that point, you're just introducing new members of society.
right. So you'd pay them like actual currency.
Yeah, because they'd have to.
You'd let them have
They'd have to
actual
have
property.
right.
Like,
They'd have to, right? Because
but
it might be underdeveloped. If they let's say that androids don't necessarily in this altered universe. Let's say the androids don't particularly have emotion. They wouldn't need a place to go have fun, but they'd still need a place to go power down, maybe an apartment building, like you know, like in fucking Futurama where Bender just sleeps in that closet, like you know
Bender
what I
doesn't
mean?
sleep in the closet. He sleeps in that giant apartment. He
They
makes
have
Fry sleep in the freaking closet.
Well, yeah, for a while at the beginning, but like he has that weird little room that he just like stands in, and his visor closes.
Oh,
and
I
he
know
sleeps.
he was in that closet because then
Yeah,
when
he
Fry
was.
moved in, he's like, "Man, this place is small." And then
Yeah,
he found
yeah.
the door. He's
They
like,
got
"Dude,
the
there's a
new
whole
apartment, yeah.
apartment here." I was like, "Oh, okay."
But yeah, like that's I think that if at one when they become too like I don't have a problem with my computer being a slave. It's not smart. It's not intelligent. But when you develop any form
Yeah,
of
but like
intelligence,
you got to think of like this, like androids,
yeah,
objects,
I don't
property.
think. Well, here's the thing.
Can property really own property?
That's a really dangerous assumption because that's how people thought about slavery in the old days.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like the old days was like terrible and shitty, but we were human beings. Like this is like actual like
Well, that's the question, right? Like if you create honest to God intelligence,
yeah.
like you can't aren't you the monster if you create intelligence just to subjugate it?
I mean, I personally don't want to. Like, I'm with you. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know,
No, I'm just saying like
if they can
humankind.
think
If
for
we
themselves.
create intelligent life just to subjugate it,
Yeah,
then you're just a fucking monster.
yeah. But I mean, like, I feel like that's probably going to be the probable outcome is we're just going to treat them
we
like
talked
our
about
slaves.
Sophia Cal. I assume that's Sophia, right? That she's talking about,
Well, they have one android.
or was
Yeah.
that the one in Japan?
Yeah, she
'Cause
actually
Japan had something
she,
too.
No, Sophia just got citizenship of I think it's like it's some kind of Eastern European.
Well, that's the argument. Is at what
But it
point
was like
do
right after she made that creepy comment too.
yeah?
Like,
There's
oh,
there's
you're
a
our
lot of
citizen.
lore, Cal, and everyone, based on how much intelligence, like what the again, it's all parameters. What level of intelligence needs to be achieved? What level of emotion and what level of questioning? Because here's the thing, I'm not a PETA member. I don't think it's wrong to say
PETA,
yeah, PETA like
like
protection
people, like
for the well. First of all, PETA's a
people of
bunch of
ethical treatment.
yeah,
of
they're a
animals.
bunch of fucking assholes. They're terrorists.
Do you
But
think there
beyond
would be?
that,
Do you think there would be a PETA for androids?
yeah, there always will
People
be. As
for
long as
ethical
if there is a
treatment of
subjugated
androids?
group, there will be people fighting for rights.
Do you think they'd be PETA too?
No, they'd be like, well, I mean, people.
Would it
for
just
the,
be PETA?
I don't.
People ethical
People
treatment
for
of
the ethical treatment
androids.
of androids. Maybe, but the question here is how much emotion, like, cause yeah, like here for me, here's what it is. At the point, if you make something intelligent enough, I think I said this at least once today already. If something reaches the intelligence of questioning it itself, because here's the thing. I mean, we don't know for sure, but I think we're all pretty sure that your cat laying on the fucking couch here is not going, "Why am I a cat? What do I do in the universe?" You know what I mean? That's
Right.
what makes humans unique.
That's,
We wonder
that's because we have like a more developed conscience, and
exactly.
intelligence.
So my point is, if you give like if someone's riding a fucking horse, that horse is not being like, "Oh my god, my whole life is being ridden by a human until the day I die." Like
Yeah.
that horse isn't thinking that. That horse is thinking, Gallop, gallop, gallop. I mean, that's
Gallop,
just
gallop, gallop.
to the
Eat
best
that
of our
hay.
knowledge.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying
mean,
that's for sure,
we
but
don't really
yeah,
know.
we don't really know.
never-
But yeah, so for horses and androids, if you create any being that is smart enough to question its place in the world, in the universe, in the pecking order, and in society, it's wrong to let that thing, even if it's not a real person.
Okay, so let me ask you this: artificial intelligence. So obviously they have the ability to have intelligence, and they can have more intelligence than any human being at the drop of a hat. But what makes them an individual, like a functioning citizen? How many emotes would that android have to have for you to consider? Because I mean, there's a huge range of emotions.
Right, right.
How many emotions does that android have to be able to emote for you to say, okay, you are now?
The emotes are actually less important to me. A lot of people base whether an android is going to be like whether a lot of people base AI off of emotion. Can they mimic human life?
Mhm.
But really, for me, again, to get back to what I said, to me, it's about the questioning of the placement in the universe. I think the most human thing is asking why. As long like
they have to ask why.
right, like if let's say you invent AI, you invent a robot, uh, and let's take it both ways. If if it has all the emotions, but it doesn't question itself, if it can be like, congratulations on your new baby, but it doesn't have the ability to look at itself and wonder what it is, then I actually am more okay with having that be like a piece of property
Yeah.
than taking something that's completely dead behind the eyes. It talks like this.
So you'd rather have an android that, like, say you had a baby, and as long as it goes, why can I not procreate? Then you go, and now you're an individual.
Yeah, because like, remember when we went to go see that terrible, terrible new Alien movie together? Like it cut like a
Yeah.
year or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
3 years ago, a year ago.
Mhm.
Whenever we went to go see that, like that main robot on our team, the good robot, he was emotionless. He really was pretty much emotionless, but he was able to.
Right, because they downgraded him because
Right.
when they did put emotions in, they strayed away.
Right. But like that guy was emotionless, but was still able to question. He asked, he knew he was a robot. He was familiar with his surroundings, and he questioned who and what he was in life. Which is why when he met the evil robot, or the evil android, that there was that like weird like design between the two. And I think that's really for me. Like once they can say, what am I? Like it's like
Yeah.
whoa, shut down, bro. Like that's too far because now you're a fucking like
You think that's too far, and you shut him down.
that well, no, I wouldn't shut him down, but I just mean like, oh shit, now you're a person. Like at that point,
And
that's like
as
a
soon
kid.
as they become a person, that scares you, and you're like, no.
Well, it doesn't scare me. It's just more like it scares me that they could be that, and that people would be like, okay, now go wash dishes for 14 hours a week. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm like, but why am I washing dishes for
Yeah.
14 hours a week?
because
Why-
that's what
and
I'm
why
like.
aren't you washing?
I
the
have a lot of
dishes?
mental illness, but every job I quit, it comes down to that. I'll be sitting.
They all need a kill it with fire button.
Yes, exactly. Like because that's what makes us human. Like part of the reason I have trouble holding down a job, and I know it's due to mental illness to some degree.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, every time I'm fucking sitting in a job, I'm typing on my computer, and I'm like, dude, we've got 100 years of life, and then I'm dead. I'm never coming back. It's game over. What the
Yeah.
fuck am I typing on a computer for? And that's what I think sets it apart is that
Yeah.
a computer doesn't say, why am I playing this video game for him? Why am I loading these graphics? But if you can say right now, why am I doing this podcast? Right? Why are you doing the podcast?
Because I enjoy doing the podcast.
And that's what makes you different from a
Yeah.
machine or from a piece of equipment, from a horse. A horse doesn't a horse runs because it likes running, but it doesn't like a horse doesn't
Yeah.
like fucking pull a carriage because it feels like pulling a carriage.
I feel like putting all this like shit on and pulling this carriage.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel
And
like
that's what
pulling
sets
this
us
rich
apart.
asshole to the bank.
There you go, exactly, Jay. So I
don't
know that
I feel like when you get to that point where they're like, why? Why am I doing this?
yeah.
Like me personally, I'll be like, and now your life has begun.
Exactly. But I mean, right? Like that's
Let's answer all. Your
I'm sure every one of
whys.
you have been sitting at your job and felt like that. My problem is the mixture of so we're all humans do it. My problem is I have mental illness enough to not I have bad impulse control. So
Mhm.
I'll be sitting at my job, and suddenly I'll realize, like, dude, there's got to be more to life than work. And then I go out and start a full-time streaming job, and that's just terrible decision making. But
Musty Bruce says we'd have confirmed viewers though on the stream.
that's true though. It's true.
I think what makes them a synthetic version of human is if they can do at least two, maybe three emotions. They can show empathy and creativity. Like they can create
Creating.
something brand new,
Yeah.
not copying something.
That's a good one. That's a great idea. Develop. I mean, that's really the goal for, and it gets to that. Like when they created the new language, that we've kind of reached
Exactly.
that point.
Yeah.
They looked at what we had and thought maybe we could do something different.
We can
Like,
improve on this concept. Yeah.
and there's a lot of ways because English is
But I mean,
again
like
a
if you can
garbage
give
language.
if you can give a canvas and a paintbrush to an Android and say, okay, create something new, and they can actually do it, and they
Yeah.
can make like a masterpiece or something, or they can make a shitty fucking toddler fucking painting. As long as they can bring
Yeah.
something out of nowhere, then I say, okay, you are now a synthetic version of human,
Hmm?
and now I consider you a valid form of life.
Yes, yeah, Cal's right. You would die without money. Like that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think Jay, I think you should just literally quit your job and just move to Lincoln and be my manager. Like, I think you should just move into one of the apartments next door, live in the slums with me and Cal.
Yeah.
Just come live a slummy middle class life and enjoy life here.
It would be great.
But
Doesn't Jay lives in California, doesn't he?
he lives in Arizona, so kind of
Arizona.
out there.
Well, you'll get to enjoy fall. and
Although,
shitty
dude, you'd have to resell
winters.
your brand new house that you just bought for $1.3 million. That seems like that would suck.
Give it to your maid.
Give it to your mate. His roommate might not be a huge fan of that. His new roommate's his
Buy
maid.
your roommate out and then give it to your maid.
But yeah, like AI has so much potential that it's interesting to think about because there's so many outcomes, because there's so many types of AI. There's so many applications. I mean, you could talk about it. You could have an entire podcast dedicated to the development of AI in the world because AI is used in video games. It is used in computing. It is used in robotics. It is used in every facet of the world. They just are building right now the first AI run fast food restaurant where you roll up and make selections for what you want, and robotics and AI put it together for you and slap it out on a tray.
They had a while ago. I don't know if they have it anymore. They had like an automated grocery store.
Yeah, I've seen
Where
those.
it was like an ATM. You roll up, and there's a big touch screen. You picked what you want,
Yep.
and then it would basically go and get it. Like obviously,
Yeah.
it's not like a real grocery store. It's like
It's like designed like kind of like a factory.
it's pretty
Yeah.
much a giant vending machine.
Exactly.
But still,
Same thing with the restaurant, basically.
exactly.
But I just mean like, oh my God, do we just live in a big vending machine? Is Earth a big vending machine?
Maybe we are.
See, I mean, that's really the question,
Are we
right?
a part of some
Everything-
artificial intelligence?
Everything is extrapolated on. We will never know. That's like the most fun. A lot of people hate not knowing, not knowing everything. I love not knowing everything.
So like, you think ignorance is bliss?
Not so much that. I love that you'll never run out of things to learn. Every day, every minute you're alive is another minute to learn something new, and I love that. Even today, we've been learning. I learned, Musty told me about the robotics and amputation. You've told me about, you talked about something that I wasn't familiar with earlier. I love that. I love that no matter what we do, there will always be unknown things. We'll never know
Yeah.
everything. It's impossible.
Yeah. So you don't think there's a limit to our knowledge? You don't think?
Yeah, Amazon has those. He's right.
Yeah, I think that's why like Amazon's in hot water right now because they're like they already treat their employees like shit, but now they're getting rid of them for automated factories or whatever, right?
Right. No, I'm excited for AI in a lot of ways. I'm obviously biased. I'm excited for them in the use of gaming worlds, but again, I still am worried that at some point it becomes unethical.
Here's a question. and maybe it's just like shit, but here's a question. Say we do have like androids, very intelligent, human like, but they're our workers. They're
Yeah.
like, say, slaves. Would that help bring our races together?
Androids and humans?
No, just like human,
Oh.
like all the races of humanity. Like,
No, nothing will bring races of humanity together.
you don't think so?
No.
You don't think we'd all agree? Okay, well these guys are not really human. It's proper to treat them like slaves.
The
and
only
now-
thing that unifies people is a bigger, more dangerous threat. The only time you will see the world united is if we had to fight another planet or something.
yeah,
And even then,
We're
that's
already
not
getting
true
ready for
because
that
you see
shit.
it now. Like you don't even see it then because, like when we're in Vietnam,
yeah.
50% of people didn't want to be there. When we're in Iraq, people
Yeah,
don't want to
they're
be there.
getting-
Like
they're
no
getting
matter
iron shit.
what, there is just no reality in which humankind all agrees on one
Have
thing.
you, just like off topic question, have you signed up for the Space Force?
You caught me.
You did?
I signed up for the Space Force.
I did too.
You did?
I did. Well,
What's-
I want to go to space.
I'm gonna be a cadet.
Yeah, like the application, it says like what is
Yeah, that's
like basically like what is your purpose is going to be, and they have stuff like I'm going to do agriculture, so I'll help learn and help make plants and food and shit in space.
Right.
And there's like I'm a scientist, I'm a medical professional, I'm a captain, like I'm.
Oh wait, there's really a sign up sheet.
Yeah, there's an application on NASA's website.
Is there anything like I'm a shitty guy with no life skills and I'm
Well,
an entertainer?
On mine, I said the entertainment. I'd be entertainment.
You really signed up? You really signed up for Space Force?
Yeah. Don't tell my wife.
Wait, okay. I need to know if you seriously went to NASA and put in an application.
I did a long time ago.
I'm gonna need you to pinky swear.
I pinky swear.
You pinky swear that you went to NASA.com and applied for the entertainment of the Space Force at NASA.
I went to SpaceX program. Any program where any general citizen can sign up to go to space. I signed up for it because I want to go to space.
Oh my god, that's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah. They have the program basically is going to be like it's a 4-generation plan where it's going to take 4 generations of people to get to like I think Mars is like the destination right now.
The main one.
And then they're going to like the last generation's going to set up shop and then hopefully they
colonizing.
can and then hopefully they can make 4 generations on Mars and then they'll send those 4 generations back.
That's so impossible. I'm going to get to what Cal said, but do you know how many people, literally, the scale, how many people you would have to send to colonize a place to not have inbreeding?
Yeah.
It would be huge.
It would be huge. It would be giant.
You'd have to
It'd
send.
be the
I
half-
can't even think of a number. Is
It'd be like
anyone
a
in here
quarter-
a math major? If you were inventing,
We'd
if you were
basically be sending
colonizing a
a ship
place.
as big as like the United States. Or at least like a small country or something.
yeah, I just mean, there's no way you could avoid inbreeding with less than like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
There was a show on Sci-Fi that kind of like played around with the idea. Like it was like a giant satellite that was drifting.
Actually, real quickly, it is so true. I played Elite Dangerous too, Musty. So this is a really interesting idea. That's becoming more and more the norm, that gamers do get like pulled in for stuff. Like pro Elite Dangerous players could theoretically fly a space vessel if they had the right interface.
Yeah.
You saw that in the use of they have gamers, like they have ex gamers that now run surgeries that like people that have gone to school to learn to use the robotics, like laparoscopic robotic surgery. Drone fighters in the military it's all a big video game, just murdering real people.
I last night read an article about a dude who like he's like the top ranked sniper because he used to play Black Ops and like Call of Duty all the time, and he's like one of the best they've seen.
Yeah, it's
and he's like he puts all his training into Call of Duty and shit. It's like, yep, it's all that Call of Duty I was playing.
I want to real quickly get back to something Cal said just a little bit. Oh, you don't have an uptime command. We've been uptime for 1 hour 40 minutes. But
Elite in the 80s.
so Cal was talking about how there's no real meaning to life because of what I was saying, but like the funny thing about meaning of life is the idea that everyone looks for some meaning in life, but really the meaning is whatever you decide it is. Like
Yeah.
life itself maybe has no generic meaning. By being born, by living your life, and by dying, you don't have a meaning. You're not going to change the universe necessarily, but it becomes on a different thing because right now, every one of you that's alive, just murdering real people. It is though. Every one of you being alive is affecting someone else's life right now. King Cord, by being alive, by hosting a podcast, by being here, is changing my life. By being a part of your podcast and working right now, we're changing the lives of everyone in the chat. Everyone is slightly different because even it can be as simple as now other people are questioning different things. Like there is a point to life. The point is just not what we want it to be. Our point although I think that's a little bit of a unpopular opinion because part of the reason people are like, dude, how do you live with being such a fuck up, for lack of a better word? Like you barely fucking work. You never make any money. You don't do anything. I'm like, yeah, well, what do you do? Because guess what? In 60 years, you're dead and no one remembers you either. Like, why shouldn't I have fun with life? Like, no one's gonna, there's nothing. The point of life is what we choose to make it. And what I choose to do is build a community here on Twitch. I like to build communities. I like to make people's days better. I like to make people laugh. I like to make them smile. That's what I do with my life. And if I died tomorrow, I bet I die happier than the guy that works the 9 to 5 for 70 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's kind of like the idea where like rich people kind of wish that they lived like poor people sometimes.
Well, you see it like with Jay right now.
Want to be rich.
Like Jay, it's a great example. Jay is so overworked. He's working 70, 80 hours a week. And he's working 70 and 80 hours a week while driving in his $100,000 Elon Musk Tesla.
Yeah.
He drives his amazing car. He's got a better house. He gets to do whatever he wants to do in the world. But what good is that if you don't have the time to do it? And vice versa. I'm the polar opposite. Me and Jay, I think it's part of what makes us great friends. I sit at home and I eat fucking ramen with eggs cracked in them for protein because I can't afford. Literally right now, I cannot afford to go like get food. Like there are weeks that like I think me and Cal's budget for this next like week for shopping is like $20 to $40. So we're gonna eat an entire week off $20. Dave probably tips strippers with 20s.
He probably tips the valet guy with a 20. Yeah,
well, it just depends, Cal, because one day maybe the stream takes off.Maybe our community gets big enough. Maybe you don't have to work forever.
Hopefully that happens.
You just never know. Like you have to work now, but we can all make strides. Like you could be developing an idea that makes you work for yourself. You could be developing a new career path. You could be doing we all have the choice to do things. It's just also that a lot of us are lazy, me included.
Yeah.
I'm intelligent enough. Like I studied, I did good on my ACTs. I got a full ride to one of the best schools in Nebraska. Not that that's a huge win, but you know what I mean? Like I could have done anything I wanted, and I choose to be a fuck up because that's what I want to be.
You choose what you're happy.
I choose to be happy.
I wouldn't say you choose to be a fuck up. I'd say you just choose to do what makes you happy.
I choose to be a society fuck up, a fuck up by society standards.
Yeah, everyone else won't see it as
if everybody else wants
to being what's happy.
If everybody else wants to work for that. I mean, let's be honest. I don't want to bring up names, but I had an ex that you're familiar with, and all that mattered was going to fancy dinners and making sure that we looked good and having nice clothes and nice dinners that everyone could see you doing. And that's just not me, man. It will never be me. Now, I'm not saying I like to put on a nice fucking suit, go to a nice dinner, have a nice date. Sure. And if I have the money, fuck yeah. But I'm not going to save that money up. Like if I get that money, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm not going to take, like, if somebody gave me 10 grand tomorrow, I wouldn't put that toward my future. I would buy Cal a car and pay for our wedding. It would be gone the next day. I would get married to Cal. We'd burn through the money. We'd buy her a new car and it would be gone. Like, because her car is so shitty.
Yeah.
Like, I will never be rich, because I can't be rich. Like I'm bad at it because I will always give back to people that I
Yeah.
care about, that I love. Like I just can't. I just can't
I'm
do
the
it.
same way, but I've been trying to work on it. I've been trying to, cause like
Yeah.
if I got money in my pocket, I have to burn it. Like I have to
Yeah.
get rid of it. Like especially if I have
Again,
something in mind that I want.
right. I'm not anti-survival. I worked like almost I was coming up on like 10 or 11 months, almost a year at like the job that you're at now as well.
Yeah.
And that was because I had to do that. I didn't have enough money. I couldn't afford anything. So I worked there, and we I'll get a job, save up a bunch, then dip out again. Like I live my life kind of like a grifter, I guess. A drifting grifter.
A drifting grifter. That's a nice one. So have you played any
It's true, Musty's
of
right.
Detroit?
I haven't
Become
touched it yet.
Human?
Nope.
You haven't
Only
touched it?
seen a little bit of streams, a little bit of here and there, but not actually played it myself.
Okay, so this, I don't know if we should be even talking about it. It might ruin.
I don't want to go too deep into it because Cal wants to play it, so I don't want to ruin major plot points. So you can talk about ideas as AI reflects to the game, but try to avoid major plot points.
So I don't know. I can't.
He blurts out, he's like, "All right, I'll try."
I'll try it.
Bruce Willis is a ghost. Damn it!
Damn it! Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. There's tornadoes in Twister. So basically, it's like the whole premise is basically like androids are pretty much slaves, but there somehow is like an exit program,
right,
where they can all of a sudden go against what they were told to do and do whatever they want, basically. And so they have it's weird because like when they're in the program completely as a slave, they have an indicator that like flashes like blue means
I've
like
seen that
everything's
a little bit.
fine, and then yellow's like they're kind of like worried or they're questioning something, and then red's like they're angry or they're panicked about something.
Right.
So when they're on the program, they don't really have emotions.
Right.
But then when they use the exit plan, they like all of a sudden get like emotions and morals and shit like that. So
randomly assigned, or they're like, how do they get their morals?
When they're as like slaves, that they come out of the store, they have like programmed like certain set of like morals or whatever.
Okay.
And not really even morals. They just have like certain like basically you do what you're told, you don't question it.
Right.
And do it fast and efficiently as you can. But like they get into like situations where they're witnessing something and they know it's wrong, but they're being told like, do not intervene, do what you're told.
Right.
You know,
right.
if you were told to stand by, then you have to basically stand there and watch. Or if you're told to like go do the chore while I'm like beating my wife, you have to go do the chore, you know?
Yeah. I mean, shit.
But they know
they get humans to do
but
that.
they know beating, like they know that their owner is beating their wife, and they know that's wrong.
Right. Right.
So like all of a sudden they like basically like visually they see like a red wall like and it's flashing saying do not intervene.
Yeah. Right. Right. Okay.
But they can break that wall, and then all of a sudden they're free, and then they have like all their emotions and shit like that.
Interesting. Okay. I like that concept. Like I like the concept behind that a lot.
Yeah. And so like I really enjoy playing as Connor, and he's the android sent by CyberLife, who's supposed to go clean up after deviant androids.
Yeah.
So he's like supposed to go help like authorities like catch bad deviant androids, which deviant androids are the ones who broke the program, and now they're completely free and they can do whatever they want. And so it's really fun though, because I kind of like playing those like detective games, like where you have to find the clues, all the clues, and then you have to make the choices and shit.
Yeah, no, I think those are fun. Like, I mean, that's cool. It's a cool idea.
But like, it's interesting because when you play as Connor, you're playing as an android completely committed to the program. Like, he has to do what he's told. He's supposed to assist the authorities. He's supposed to catch the deviant android.
Right.
But you're constantly faced to like, do I want to show, I want to say, hey, I have found this evidence, or do I want to be like, hey, the deviant android went this way, or the deviant android's over here, or Do I want to shoot this android? Which is a big problem because it's illegal for androids to have guns.
Okay.
But I think he gets away with it because he's working with the authorities,
Right.
and he's working with deviant androids, so he can like shoot to kill a deviant android. But it's still a moral choice because you're still taking away a life considered to him as an android, another android life. And so
it's funny that we use that because it's almost like they obviously are using. It's an interesting idea. I'm trying to think of the way to word it. They use AI as a way, which is traditionally a non-human thinking, completely like design. And we use it to question human morals. I think that's a cool idea. Like all the choices you're facing, like, do I intervene? Like, you can touch on that from the world's biggest events, things like the Holocaust. Like, they're all questioning the human condition, and I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. The thing though, the thing that I like is like, I think I already said it like in the past episode here, but like basically like I'll just describe the first scene, which is a demo.
Yeah.
And it's also part of the trailer, I think. So like you show up as Connor, and there's a deviant android, and he's holding like a little kid on the edge of like a patio on like a skyscraper or whatever.
Okay.
And you show up and you're like, "Hi, Captain, I'm Connor from Cyberlife."
He's broken the thing then? Or like he's red, he's broken out of the
Which
wall.
one, Connor?
No, sorry, the guy that's like freaking out.
The guy is freaking. Yeah, the android is freaking out. Has broken through, and it's because he realized that he was outdated, and he found out that they ordered a new android. And he was pissed because he had a good like almost like brother or sister relationship with the daughter.
Yeah.
And it hurt his feelings that he found out that he's going to be replaced.
Yeah.
And so he thought that the daughter was basically saying like, he's old and I don't want him anymore. I want to upgrade. And so he broke the program, and he like killed the mom or killed the dad, and then took the daughter. And so like, yeah. So you arrive, and like you get off the elevator, and the mom's like, "Oh, thank God, I need you to stop him." And then she realizes that he's an android, and she's like, "Oh my God, why would you send an android? Why wouldn't you send a real human?" Like, like this shit. And then he shows him like, Hi, Captain, I'm Connor. I'm from Cyberlife. I'm here to assist you with deviant androids." And he's like, "Okay, yeah." He's
Wait,
like,
he talks like that? He's not like a badass?
No, I'm giving him like a weird voice.
Oh, okay.
I can't replicate the way he sounds. But
okay.
I mean,
I just want to make sure he didn't sound like that.
He sounds like a nerdy goody two shoes. Like, but like he's like, "Hey, I'm here." The captain's like, "Okay, there's a deviant. Like, he's got the grid. Don't make sure she doesn't fucking fall off the building or whatever."
Right.
And he's like, "Do you know the deviant's name?" And he's like, "No, I don't know the fucking name. Like, did you try to use the shut off program code?" He's like, "That was the first fucking thing I tried. What do you think I am?" Like, so you have to go around the apartment, find clues and shit, and you find out that he found out he was being replaced, and now he's going fucking crazy. And then after you get all the clues, you go out to the patio, and like you have to like kind of like talk him down. And you can either go like, you can fucking belittle him, like, "You fucking piece of shit, look what you did, this whole fucking mess is because of you." Or you can turn around and go, "There's a problem in your programming, we can get you fixed. It's not your fault. Just put the gun down and the child, and we can fix this will all go away." And so that's the route I took. Was I was like, they give you a percentage of like his trust. Yeah. And I got all the way to 100. And so he's like, "Maybe you're right." Like,
he's ready to come down off the ledge. You talked him down.
This is probably a flaw in my programming. Maybe I just need to go in and get fixed. And so like he steps down, and that's when I pull out the gun that I found, and I shot him right in the fucking head. And then the kid lands on the patio, but he like basically flies off.
Why'd you shoot him?
Because it was fun.
See, that's the kind of guy you don't want developing your artificial intelligence.
Exactly. You get that, but that it was effective because you got his trust, you got him where you wanted, you got him to trust you.
But you could have just helped him.
But that's the way I wanted to play Connor is that he's an android, but he's doing what he's supposed to do.
But you think the
And
android
he doesn't
deserves
have
to
a problem
die?
with and he doesn't have a problem with killing other androids. Like if that's the where it has to go, you know. So
Oh, okay. I mean, that's
yeah,
really scary that,
that was
that
the
you did it
first
that
scene.
way.
But yeah, like I think it's really interesting because like with Connor, you get all these choices where it's like, do I want to take him to become a deviant? Do I want him to realize like, holy shit, I can be free, I can be an individual, or do you want him to be exactly what his purpose is?
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
and so like that's what I'm trying to go with it is like that's exactly what his purpose is. He's supposed to hunt down deviants, and if that means he has to shoot them, then he's gonna shoot them, like.
Yeah, yeah.
But then like you play other androids, and like this one can have empathy and emotions and
Right.
and loves certain humans and all that shit.
Hmm.
And then you play the other one who like tries to start the revolution against androids and humans.
Starts the robot revolution.
So
I know, I'm tired too, Cal. I've been yawning all day. Sorry, I didn't sleep much, or I didn't sleep good.
yeah. So it's a very interesting game. I think you should check it out if you've got the chance, or maybe like you and Kyle Hayek can come over and we can play a little bit.
Definitely, she really wants to play. That's for sure. Because I didn't think it looked especially fascinating overall, but I like anything that's morality and choices. So I think
Yeah.
it'll probably be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I mean it's made by the same people who did Heavy Rain,
Right.
and Indigo Prophecy,
Yeah.
and
And I like all
Beyond Two
those
Souls.
games. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of those games, and Sony had like a pretty big hand in this one. So, but yeah, I was just kind of like I was playing that game, and then I kind of like I read that article about the company who made it AI and just fed it like dank memes and shit. So I was just kind of like, we should probably talk about.
I like talking
artificial
about stuff like
intelligence.
that too. Again, anything that any topic that challenges the morality of life and death. I could talk about for hours.
Yeah.
If it's some interstellar mind blowing morality shit, I love in that entire concept.
Yep. So I think we are at 2 hours. Do you want to continue or start breaking down?
I mean, if did you have anything else you wanted to cover? I didn't.
Not really.
I'm
We
pretty
pretty much
much-
cover it all, really. And I was thinking about doing conspiracy, but I really think I really want to get some new conspiracies. I don't want to keep
Yeah, like
piggybacking off of
get
BBG.
some new and not rehash the old ones. I was trying to show we could just rehashing over it. I showed Cal because she had never heard. Cal's not a conspiracy theorist person.
Yeah.
She had never heard of any of them. I was trying to explain like what I was trying to because it sounds crazy, like you can't describe them. I was
Yeah.
trying to explain the idea of the ancient order of the lizard people that like control the world from the deep, it's like from the
Yeah.
strongest points throughout the universe, like by being our top officials and such.
Yeah.
And I was trying to trying to explain it, and it just always sounds like ridiculous.
Did you
like-
show her like videos on YouTube?
I tried, but I couldn't find any good ones.
There's that famous one with George W. Bush where he's like doing a speech or whatever.
Yeah.
And like he like just does this weird blink, and all of a sudden like his face like goes like lizard.
I tried to find some of those, but I
There's-
couldn't get them.
I think there's one with Paris Hilton too, and I think Robot Chicken like Robot Chicken made fun of it for a long
Yeah.
time. Like she was, and Britney Spears, I think
Yeah.
was like another like.
And then I was trying to explain like the Illuminati and the Freemasons and stuff, because like
Yeah.
my my family was a part of the Shriners, who are a subcategory of the Freemasons.
Yeah.
So my family actually comes from the secret order of the Shriners, which are, they wear the fezzes and they have
Mhm.
like the swords on them.
They have
Uh,
that like weird curvy sword.
Yeah, the scimitar, scimitar,
Yeah,
scimitar,
Scimitar. That's what I was
scimitar.
thinking of.
But yeah, like my I'm pretty sure, I don't know how much I could say like technically, but I don't give a fuck.
Before we get killed.
Yeah, but like my dad and his dad and his dad, I think, like at least my dad and his dad, I think one more generation, even my dad's grandfather, were in like the Shriners and were like part of the Freemason order. And like I was like trying to explain that was like a secret society that kind of like was supposed to like pull the strings in the areas that they inhabit.
Yeah.
But Cal was not buying it.
It's really weird too because the Shriners have their own circus, don't they?
I think that's actually unrelated, but it could be the same
But
guy.
they have
I
like
don't
their
know.
logo is like really similar, isn't it?
Maybe it is them
Like
that
it's a
owns it.
scimitar with
They
like
they
the
own a
hat
bunch
and
of
then the star.
hospitals too. Like they do a lot
Yeah.
of stuff, but like
See, when I worked for a janitory company, like a third party, like contracted company.
yeah,
And I was in the Miller and Payne building downtown.
yeah,
And Jesus, like fucking World War III's going
yeah.
off
I
in
know.
my parking
Is
lot.
someone shooting guns out there?
Or beating up cars or something. But anyways, I used to work there, and I the top floor was the lawyers' building, and there was this like special room that I had to particularly like vacuum and dust
It's
and
nonsense.
I would like he had like I think he was like a mason or something. Like
Yeah.
it had like I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the protractor or whatever for like mapping.
Yeah. It's like that across the top.
Mhm.
It's got the pyramids, like the Illuminati symbols, kind of at
Yeah.
the top, and
And then there's like another.
yeah,
like,
that's a
thing.
Freemason sign.
That shit was everywhere in his room was
Yeah.
like the coolest, like he had like velvetly red carpet.
Tell me you started pulling on some
like,
books to see if you
I
could
was
find like
one
a,
time me and my friend Joseph, we were like just like testing the fucking drawers. Or
yeah, I
whatever.
think
Of
I would
course
be.
they're
I'd be
locked.
fucking. I'd test all the drawers. I'd be
I was
pulling
like,
on books.
This
and
has
shit.
got to be like national treasure shit. Like maybe there's like this desk is a fucking
Yeah,
puzzle, man.
that is the Freemason logo, the
Yeah.
protractor across like the world and all that. But
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, there's still I think they're still kicking it. I don't know why they're here in Lincoln, but
I don't think we actually have the Freemason. Oh no, we do. You know, we do have a Masonic temple. It's right downtown, the Masonic temple.
yeah.
We have at least that, and then we also have the Shriners building, and the Shriner. Each state gets their own Shriner grand office too.
And another thing I see like everywhere around town, like there's like old Buicks, not even old Buicks, like newer Buicks, but whatever. They have like the little like emblem for the Shriners and the
Yes.
Mason seat. Like they're actual like tin or like metal or whatever with like a sticker back or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just slap it. Like some people even put them on their fucking taillights.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
It's out there, man. It's out
weird.
there. I'm trying to find a picture now because Cal doesn't believe my dad was in a secret society, and I'm gonna send him a fucking text and be like, I need a picture of you with your Freemason buddies because like she won't believe me. She really thinks I'm lying because apparently I'm a liar. I've been known to stretch the truth too much.
Yeah.
But legit, my dad was in the secret society of the Shriners who work with the Freemasons.
You know what we should
And
do?
his dad.
We should like make a separate video from the podcast, just like a regular video. We'll throw it up on the YouTube. Well, it's just you and me investigate like all like the signs and try to get to the bottom of it. Try to find the actual like Masons and Illuminati.
Dude,
here
although
in town.
if you had the money to pour into it, it would be so fun to do that as a Twitch live stream series. Like if you had all the money to like
what money do we
actually-
need? We just need a camcorder.
well, no, because if you do it as a Twitch series, you have to have all the stuff to boost your signal. You can live stream on the go.
Oh,
Like one
really?
of the most fun things to do, I'll show you before we go to here today. Like if you go to like IRLs, there's people just walking around downtown Tokyo and they're just streaming it or like riding bikes and doing tricks and shit.
Oh,
I'll show
yeah.
it to you. But like you can
Is that how
live
they
stream
did like
just-
Pokemon Go and shit?
Exactly, yeah, like Pokemon Go streams.
Yeah.
Like you can do it, but you need a bunch of expensive equipment to boost your
Oh,
signal.
maybe we should do that. So yeah, we
Shriners, like Shriner Bach.
Shriner.
Technically, that's Shiner Bach, but
Shiner.
Shriner.
Shriner. Isn't there like a C in there? Isn't it SCH?
I think it's SH. It's like SHRI, like Shriner.
Some crazy, creepy shit, man.
Dude,
Crazy.
the Illuminati might not be real, but I know the Freemasons are there.
Oh, the Freemasons are definitely
The
real.
Freemasons and the Shriners, they're legit. The question is, do they have any power?
Do you know the story of the Freemasons?
Like, I know that
Like
they're
how
based
they
off.
came to be.
I know that the Freemasons are descendant from the idea and the concept and the values behind the original people that built the temple of something that was destroyed by the Nebuchadnezzar. It's biblical. They're based off the people that built a biblical temple in an original like lore of the Bible. and
Right.
they are descendant, and they have a secret order of all the stonemasons who worked there. And
Who are the people what's the group called who guard like all the treasures? Like one king like conquered like a bunch of lands and got a bunch of
yeah,
treasure, and then they like got all the treasure together in like some secret location and they guarded it for years.
I don't know, but that sounds like some magi shit, like the
I
fucking
mean,
Egyptian magi.
that's like it's part of the first like national treasure.
Freemaurer, Rothschild.
I thought that was the Freemasons.
Right.
Like they
See,
were the group of like soldiers.
they might have it underneath them. That's exactly right, Cal. See, if you believed in the Illuminati, then the Illuminati wouldn't be doing its job right.
It's true.
The whole point of the Illuminati is that they don't want you to know that they're
That's
out
true.
there. They want to be pulling strings from.
Such a terrible mic. Thank God that's gonna be the only time you have to use it. It's. I'm sorry. It's my mic stand Junior. My grandpa gave it to me.
Mike Stan Jr.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. He gave me mic stand Junior, and he gave me mic pop filter Junior.
Oh well, it's good enough. We're almost done anyway.
Yeah, we're pretty much done. We're
The
just
lizard people control the media. I gotta go help my mom with something at her house anyway.
my
we can
favorite
probably call it.
conspiracy, and maybe we can like talk about it in another episode. Is
Yeah, full episode of that.
is
for sure.
the government is actually hiding like 14 different races of aliens
Yeah,
under under California, I think it is. Like
I
deep
don't believe that.
there's
shit,
like a
but
deep underwater bunker like like off of the coast of like California where we have 14 different like races of aliens like and the
Yeah.
aliens like walk among us and stuff.
I don't believe in a lot of conspiracies. The only reason that the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and such actually get any leeway of me not just being like, that's bullshit, like I do with every other conspiracy, is because that one sounds the most unique to human society. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm not a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, so I'm not saying 9/11 itself was the conspiracy, but we're all kidding ourselves if the government wasn't excited that it happened so that they could start the war they wanted. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like I don't think that they sabotaged the building like that's its own argument. But I do believe that it worked out for the US the way they wanted it to. And like that being what it is, the idea of a secret order of high society members with all the money and power, that doesn't sound too far off what we just call the American government. So, like,
Yeah.
it makes the most sense to me as far as like conspiracy.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, even though I don't know that I believe in the full bore Illuminati, like
You're
the
not-
Freemasons
you're not
and the
full
Illuminati,
crazy.
they're like, probably the one conspiracy I'm like that. That sounds like a real human thing.
All right. Well, there's a few.
Men in Black is a documentary.
Yeah, Men in Black was a documentary. Just a few more things. Gonna be getting the townhome pretty soon.
Yeah,
in
2
July.
weeks. Is that 2 weeks?
2.5 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
July 13th is when we move in.
That'll be so nice not to recalibrate everything.
Yeah, that will, and then we'll have like streams that look and sound really good, and we
Yeah.
won't have to like waste so much time. Like I'm pretty
I
sure
told
we
them
were
about
like,
setup and tear down.
yeah, we were like half hour, 45 minutes
Yeah.
late, and then we also had like
Well, I put it on
streaming
Discord.
problems.
Like, even if I get here an hour early, we have to set up 2 mic tripods, 2
cameras.
camera tripods, calibrate the cameras,
Get
make
the
sure that
lighting
the
good.
video's good. We have to set up the lighting. We have to set up the green screening, which is it's all mobile one. So we have to set up all the green screens.
Yeah.
Then, because we're not in the same place every time, we have to calibrate the mics. We have to calibrate noise gating to make sure that none of the knobs got changed, that everything is working correctly.
Yeah.
And we have to do all that before every single stream. And then after we get off, like in 5 minutes, we have to tear all that down again
Yeah.
because it's just in the middle of like a living room. So
Mhm.
like when we move to having a dedicated room for it, I think that'll really boost the quality purely by boosting quality by boosting consistency.
Right. So and this stream we introduced the new mic. We got a different stand for the camera, and we just had to.
We're still finding our stride. It's
Yeah.
episode 4. Still trying to locate everything.
But that being
Although
said,
I do, watching the mics, I have felt as though that following what Musty said, I feel as though I'm going to go back and watch some of it. I feel like our levels and our noise gates were perfect today. I don't know
Yeah.
that for sure, but I feel like yours hasn't moved when I'm talking, mine doesn't move when you're talking, and when we talked over each other, I bet we didn't get that same brutal echo.
Yeah, and if we did, it wasn't that terrible. So, go tell your friends about our podcast.
Right after you tell them about twitch.tv/Nixit down there.
That's right. And don't forget to tell them about mine, which is like that way.
Nope. So
Right
close.
There we go. Twitter and
Cal was watching all day. She said no echo.
Oh,
That's
really?
what I'm talking
No
about. We
echo.
sound like a real podcast.
Nice.
If it's almost annoying that we had the video lag error, because it would have been like our first official, like,
yeah,
we would have not fucked
there's
up.
always something.
I know, right?
There's always something. All right, guys. So
Check out the Instagram.
check out the
Yeah,
Instagram.
down there right in the middle. Check out YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud. Follow all of them, guys. If you like the
Yep.
podcast, let us know. We don't have a Discord server set up for it. That might be something we do, or we could also make it a part of my Discord and just like do it that way. Make a voice chat
Whatever.
and like a text chat within my Discord community.
Yeah,
Because
whatever
most of the people
works.
in here are from our community anyway.
Yeah.
So, but we'll do something with that eventually. But yeah, if you want to keep up with all the news, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have ideas for episodes. You can tweet at King Cord on Twitter, etc., or me, or in the
Or you can
Discord.
tweet the podcast itself.
Yeah, you can tweet at the podcast.
The Nevermind
But
podcast.
it's always fun. Building a community is part of working with you guys,
Yeah.
so it's fun to do that.
And we are currently looking for guests, whether it be Skype or through
Yeah.
Discord, or actually physically being here, like what Cal was
Preferably,
in the
I
last episode.
preferably would like to do Skype because I would love to actually do video.
Yeah.
And the first time we do a Skype one, we should actually calibrate that eventually.
So let us know if you'd be interested in being a guest.
I'll do that.
We might
Vader.
even like do like some podcasts do like a section where they're like, all right, now we're taking some callers and
Yeah,
have people
right.
call in or whatever. So
Like for that day, so people could get their, like, if they like, not being a guest on the show, but if they have opinions based on what we talked about that day, they could like give like a 5-minute clip, like talk about it, like real back and forth.
yeah. So Vader says, look, booking tickets now.
Booking tickets now. You don't have to come on the show, Vader. We'll do it via Skype.
Nah, you could come on if you want.
You could. You
All
could
right.
book your tickets.
We'll get you some Mountain Dew.
I don't get any Mountain Dew.
Yeah, we ran out of Mountain Dew.
I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, Nixon.
I'm good with water, but I do have to pee, so time to wrap it up.
Yep. So make sure you check out our social media. The YouTube will be on shortly tonight. The SoundCloud will be on tomorrow morning. That's just how shitty and slow shit processes are. So
3 months salary.
yeah, 3 months salary. So be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Follow us here on Twitch. And follow us on SoundCloud. Is it a follow on SoundCloud?
I don't know if SoundCloud calls it. It's a heart symbol, I think.
Heart us on SoundCloud, please.
Get a heart on for us.
Get a heart on.
But I don't know. It's probably follow. It's probably
Yep.
follow.
And if you're listening to this here on YouTube or listening on SoundCloud, we stream live every Sunday. We try to at 1 p.m. Central Time, U.S.
Sometime between 1 and 6 p.m. we start.
on
No.
twitch.tv
1
/
p.m.
The Nevermind Podcast, which is the NVM Podcast. Thanks, everyone who showed up. Thanks for sticking with us with our shitty Wi-Fi experiences. And y'all have a good day.
See you guys Tuesday.